things you can learn from one ship alone. Little details, the labels and the readouts, placement of the screens. But I'm a details guy. The bigger picture is usually someone else's bag. Wonder what the higher-ups would make of this. That ship shouldn't take much more to get running. Maybe Mr. Drifter knows for sure. These aren't like the birds we have back home. I can handle one of those, no problem. This is a little more complicated.
I don't think it can send me back. The way I see it, I've got two options. I can stay here feeling sorry for myself, waiting for the Nine to wear me like a rented tux, or I can come back to Earth with you and figure out what I'm supposed to do with what I've got left. Of course, the place I'm going isn't the Earth I remember. Guardian, do you want to learn the salsa? Play football? Write cursive? Do you want to speak Welsh? I'll name a dozen dead things, and you tell me which one you want to learn. Then you teach me how to fly my spaceship.
No matter who I was, I'm still a Courtney. Orin, status.
The Vex are watching this place. Rifles strung up in the cliffs. We need to break Pottery. Tear it down.
Orin's right. Perimeter scans show Vex signatures, and they've converted the old HCO networks into a sort of security battle.
She's also right about tearing it down. Keep your focus on the present and find a way through. Without active surveillance, you'll be able to move through the surrounding canyons without tripping Vex security every 10 paces.
You're a tad late for this skirmish. Or early. Either way, you must have seen the Vex going about their deterministic routines by now. They're dug in and trying to assimilate everything around them. They mean to turn a sphere to a circle here, so to speak. We have an advantage, in that the Vex, who are exposed to dark matter, find themselves caught in a thick, yellow confusion. The presence of the Nine here resists Vex probing with dense air, but it's thinning. We need to address this. I haven't been able to get close enough for a detailed assessment, but you can.
The dampening field signal is coming from this direction, but it looks like there's a branching point.
I see it. They're disseminating the dampening signal to hundreds of frames. This is a code fix. They've recognized their vulnerability to the Nine's energy and are adjusting.
The signal's getting stronger, and it looks like I was wrong before. The dampening broadcast isn't emitting from one point, it's 3. Wait, there's something else. There's an old colonial orchestra that's still running from when the Ionians landed here. I didn't notice it until we were close, but it looks like the Vex are trying to access it.
Interesting. Let's kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Bring down the dampening broadcast. And in the chaos, we'll crush their incursion into the old colony systems.
That is not a tower. The broadcasts are coming from those giant minotaurs. Look, another concentration of dark matter. Might help keep us out of harm's way. But it's protected by a security lens. One step at a time, Guardian. should help us get to the security lens.
The Vex mine curdles, and the dampening field weakens.
Orin, contact the 9. Punch through that Vex interference.
I see a flat vision of you, Guardian. A timely message. A globe spins below you, the planets above. An event into the encoded horizon.
Establishing uplink. Wait. These are detailed records of the collapse.
They catalogue the Nine's presence as much as the collapse. The Vex study seeds planted in the past to understand how the Nine wove plots around the paracausal.
They know the 9 can manipulate us, and are learning how to work the same way. This data is a playbook for emulating the 9. Ghost, download everything, then purge the console. Orin, did they know we would stop the Vex here?
Of course. They know to meet every triumph with gunpowder thank you cards, and that we'd need to move the Vex aside to reach the singularity. 3.
Lodi. The Guardian found an archive of analytical data the Ionians had recorded during the collapse. I think you deserve to see it.
Really? Misread that. That's incredible. Anything, and I mean anything that fills in the gaps between then and now would be mighty appreciated.
Guardian, that machine looks like another time-lost invitation. Similar to the one that empowered you before.
If the Nine want to give you power, who are we to refuse?
Now that's something. I can see you now. When you're all spherical like that, it's almost like a star in the sky. We're connected through a chain of dark matter. It's in everything.
If it's a chain linking to your enemies, use it to pull them apart.
A little violent, but if the situation calls for it.
Vex mind was controlling the flow of radiolaria. Without it, their assimilation of Kepler will stall.
I know Maya Sundaresh and her schism. This shield was echinacea. Sorry, an anti-paracausal shell. It is a spark of the Nine derived from their power. I recognize its shallow anxiety. Kepler harbors their influence.
Focus ray. Here and now. You're entering the Vex exclusion zone, Guardian. Find how they're co-opting the Nine's power and put a stop to it.
Deep scans are picking up dark matter and deep mantle drilling. This place looks like a quarry geared towards mining out the anomaly's power.
So they're using 3 on the other side to strengthen their shields? We can't remove all the dark matter, but we can neutralize the threat long enough to push deeper into the canyons. I want this refinery in flames, Guardian.
The last of the exiles. Now for the Vex. Guardian, you're looking for a series of conversion engines tied to conflux pylons. That's strange. Some of the radiolaria in the Vex down here is reading as being from, well, not our timeline. They're trying to wall off our path. We'll have to push through some familiar territory to reach the mind maintaining the dampening field.
If the Guardian dismantles it, we'll have enough Strangelet capsules to safely reach the Singularity.
And 3's on the other side with our message. One step closer to an answer. One last leap of faith. If Maya can already manipulate time, why all this friction?
Unlike the Nine, they're bound by their dimension. Chronal flow applies to all. Time moves forward, never backward. I want answers too, Ikora. We're simultaneous.
It's an ambush, Guardian. Take cover. They're trying to lock us in. Clear a path and let's look for a way to disable those barriers. upgrade deactivated a nearby exile city. I think they had sealed off one of these buildings.
Push once we bring down the dampening field.
We'll need to be ready, but right now, we kill the noise. Kill the noise and hear our answers.
These old human colonial outposts have been here for a long time. I wonder what they were researching before they captured this.
You never tire of learning the same lessons. Your response is not necessary. This is not a conversation. You're only meant to listen. How readily you obey fate. A leader without agency. A discarded puppet wrapped in her wires. And the weapon. Guardian, the Nine, flatter you and themselves. But my enemies do not threaten me, because I do not allow it. I command their passivity. They cannot raise their weapons.
Crowding the corners of my cortex. Don't let them in. They'll burn through any non-emissary.
There it is, Guardian. That Vex mine has the capsule we need. I don't care what Maya says. We're on her doorstep. She feels it.
I've had enough of this wall in my brain. I'm looking forward to seeing it crumble.
did it. The quarantine field is failing.
Lost perihelion around my Mako. But I do have a message for the weapon to be. Guardian, the innocent water will evaporate. Missiles aping its solar flares would collide. Humanity was destined to burn. 3 and I. Well, we looked at the Valley of Unknown Space. We saw our nature would nurture the conditions for uppercase light. Your resurrection was enabled by our hand for this purpose. Your mind will reach the beyond and know the way. For this you were positioned, set into orbit. This and 3's message to come. Always loved warming your armor, sunshine. The well is dry. I have no more answers. I'm sorry.
I chose to leave. I don't miss either life. I choose to bear truth. To share fragments I've stowed away from beyond the borders of known space. The knowledge I keep will save others. But first, there is a piece of myself that I left buried to grow in old soil. My ghost, Goal. We planted violet petals from the Golden Age. My hands, their shell. After we leave here, that's where I'll go. One brief respite until...
Everyone, we have the last Strangelet capsule. Guardian, we need to take this to the Altar of Relativity and get that door open.
This is it. I'm finally gonna learn why I'm here. Big moment. For all of you too, I'm sure.
Improving a broken system. You may remain shielded. Or be drawn into a losing battle. Goodbye, Guardian.
Guardian, drop everything you're doing. The reactor for the Academy is experiencing criticality. If we don't halt Meltdown, it'll bury not just the Ionians, but trigger the Singularity's expansion. It's all at risk. Guardian, lead us in. Lodi, do the Ionians have any kind of shelter they can get to quickly? Bunkers, or even a cavern system?
No, their infrastructure wasn't built to handle any kind of fallout. Even if they could survive, the explosion would trigger the Singularity's expansion. Kepler needs vacuumed.
Damn it! This thing's hemorrhaging coolant like a severed head!
Beneath the reactor, its reservoir is cracked, but I can contain the pressure. Obucus will just have to continually breastfeed. Don't worry about me. Guardian, this is an emergency. The Ionian's energy reactor is on the verge of going supercritical. We need to shut it down, now.
Didn't y'all just fix this thing?
Since the Guardian shut the Vex quarantine down, they're figuring out a way to get to the 9 without it.
If this reactor melts down, it'll charcoal Kepler and wipe out anyone trying to hinder the Vex from controlling the singularity.
And no one will be alive to stop them. Find what caused this.
Wild hunch, but I think the Guardian found the cause of the meltdown.
Focus on the reactor. Keep the Ionians safe. Then deal with the invulnerable Vex.
What if we could get help? 3 wanted us here alive. What if they could intervene?
Make the call. Guardian, 5 Odai time. I'm beneath the reactor. Approaching now.
Temps aren't stable yet, but we're making headway. Ikora, you holding together the coolant walls?
Keep going. Buy us anytime you can.
Something's wrong. 3 isn't talking. I just see flashes. You were underneath that thing, Ms. Ray?
Holding it together in there while the Guardian got it stable out here.
How many times did you die?
As many as it took to finish the job.
You got everything you need. Split that Hydra from the reactor. Then, let's finish the job.
The Ionian's power sources. Will the altar still hold?
It's not a permanent solution, but our efforts should have given the Ionian's generators a serviceable amount of juice. The altar should remain stable, and we'll still be able to get through.
3's waiting for us on the other side of that door.
Ms. Ray, not to rush us, but the Vex are flocking to the singularity. We should follow. I want answers.
Hive wizards are mounting another ritual in your sector. Let's complicate it, shall we?
ground.
For the city.
Sorry.
System diagnostic complete. This unit functions at 98.3%. Steadily